Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm Sheldon Barlett Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. At This Is It Network, we connect remarkable women to inspiring stories. We do that through our growing community, our engaging content, and our real connections. I join you each and every day at about 11 o'clock Eastern as I give you a little bit of our morning message in hopes that you find your voice, that you tell your story, that you no longer whisper your wishes, and that you scream your dreams. So I love the ability to come to you each and every day with a little bit of insight. It depends. I was asked the other day, how do you come up with them? And there's really no like rhyme or reason to it. It's not like I plan it out in like an editorial calendar for the week. That's not really, the way that I do it. I just wake up feeling a certain type of way, and then I bring that to all of you. I don't know if that helps or answers any respective questions, but it definitely helps me in navigating this space. So I hope you guys are doing well. I know that these weeks keep and continue to be crazy in the way in which they're materializing, but we are charging away, even though there are outside factors that are happening to the majority of us each and every week and each and every day and each and every hour. Today's morning message is about the choices in which we have, and us truly embracing the choices in which we have, and us truly embracing what it is that we do with our time, how it is that we spend our time, how it is that we communicate with each other, how it is that we're running our business, how it is that we move forward in this space. Hi, Lisa. Good morning. We choose that. We determine that. We get to pick what it is that we do with our time and our energy. We get to determine where our time is spent and where our energy is spent and who we surround ourselves with. We choose that. And so much in this world is at this point and continues to be out of our control. Good morning, Dana. Out of our control. And we get lost in what is out of our control. We get lost in all of the things in which we are consuming. We get lost in the things that the conversations we are asked to participate in, the conversations we aren't participating in. We're getting lost in all of that. But the truth of it is that we all have choices to make. We don't talk about politics and what it is that we've got going on, but we have an election coming up, and that is in essence a choice, whatever your choice happens to be. It's about being responsible for the choices that you make, whatever those choices happen to be, whether you work today, whether you don't work today, whether you pay a bill, whether you don't pay a bill, whether you vote in one direction or the other. We all have choices to make. And I think that we think that the world is happening to us and we can't participate in what's happening in our world. And I'm not talking about even the larger scheme of things. We're going to take it from there and bring it down. We're talking about what's happening to me in this room. What's happening to me on this platform? What's happening to you out there in your space? What's happening to all of you in your day-to-day, in your business? It's about taking ownership of the choices in which you make, all of the choices in which you make. Knowing that sometimes that it's hard, knowing that sometimes it's more difficult, the choices that you're forced to make are more difficult. But it's embracing the choices. It's about finding power in the choices. I think oftentimes when we have a decision to make, we feel bad about it. There's stress in it as opposed to embracing the power that you have because you have a choice. It's about remembering those that have no choices, right? And the frivolous nature of my, first world problems and the choices that I need and get to make, the choices that I'm willing to make, the choices that I have the privilege of making. But I always have that choice. Some people have less choices than others. So recognizing that is super, super important. And celebrating the choices in which you have and doing them with intention. Understanding that not everything is going to be simple. Not everything is going to be easy. Not all roads will be clear. But the choice is yours. In your respective circumstance, whatever that is. You may have a ton. You might have nothing. But either way, regardless of how bountiful your life is, you have the choice of how you're going to live with how little or how much you have. The choice belongs to you. And what you do with your life, I want you to gain more ownership of. More ownership of the decisions that you are making and the choices that are in front of you. And when you make that choice, being held accountable to whatever that choice is. And I'm talking small stuff. I'm talking about the ability to engage with your community, not engage with your community, participate in a certain type of way, function in a certain type of way, really launch something, don't launch something, the decisions that you make, where you stand today and what that looks like, and what does it look like to be able to do what you do and the way in which you do it. That's a choice that you make. And I think we need to start embracing those choices. And I put my hands on my head because it's like such a heavy situation. And there's so many choices that we can make. Hello, Holly. There's so many options. And that's the lucky nature that we have, right? Is to have so many options, is to bring in so many things, is to say, oh my goodness, there's such a wealth of opportunity. And then oftentimes when you have more opportunity, you begin to be overwhelmed. And it's like, okay, what am I going to do with myself and all these choices? So we're going to pick one. You're going to pick something. You're going to do something. You're going to allow for that to move you forward. You're going to allow for whatever it is you pick and whatever it is that you do. You're going to own that. You're going to live in that. You're going to do your best to do what's right for you in your own space. Good morning, Crystal. And you're going to pick it. You're going to make a choice. And in a space where all of our choices seem like they're wrong ones and everything that we're doing seems effortless but not making an impact, we need to really focus on the choices that we're making. We all have a choice. Whether you have a little or whether you have a lot, you have a choice within the environment in which you are in. Your choices may not be cute. They might not be convenient. May not necessarily work out in all of the best favors. You might be looking at your options and being like, all of these options are not good. Or you're looking at all of the abundance that you have and say, oh, I hope I move in the right direction. But whether or not you move left or you move right, the choice is yours to pick and select, and for you to determine. The choice belongs to you. And living with the ramifications of your choices also belong to you. But instead of fearing that, instead of being like, I don't know what to do, and making choices, not that any of you talk like that, but in my head, when you begin to question who you are, it's always in this sense of nervousness, and you begin to lose your breath in it. And we look at the choices that we make and that we are going to make as something as if we're surrendering to it. I have to choose this, or I have to do this. And we choose out of anger and desperation, or out of confusion and lack of motivation. But what I suggest we do, I suggest we choose out of power and control. I see the choices that we make are powerful. That you have the power to make decisions. That's a privilege, that you even have choices. So once you're making a choice, once you're moving forward in that way, you are doing so in a powerful way. You are owning your space. You are owning what it is that you are doing. You are saying, I am seen and I am heard. It is not a situation where you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't have any good decisions. The fact that you have choices at all, my friends, is a privilege in and of itself. So when given the choice, when given an opportunity, you own that power. And I'm talking about little things, needless to say, the gigantic things that we all have going on in our lives and the world that we are living in. But I'm talking about the little things, the little pieces of control we can now take on. Whether or not you call that person or don't call that person. Whether good morning, Erica, whether you send that email or you don't send that email. Whether you make that presentation or you don't make that presentation, you launch that product or you don't launch that product, the control is in your hands. You get to make the choice. You get to make the choice, whatever it is. You are in control. We are all more powerful than we believe. We are all more powerful than that we give ourselves credit for. We feel victim to the choices that we have instead of relishing and celebrating that we got choices at all and the power in the choice that we make. So being able to move forward and celebrate what it is that we have to do and how we can do it. Instead of looking down and feeling bad about the opportunities that lie in front of you, you should feel powerful about the decisions that you have the ability to make. And not all the decisions that you make will be right. I mean, God knows. I make more bad decisions than I make good decisions, but when I make good decisions, I win and I live in the valley only for a short period of time. And I find myself celebrating in the hills because of the choices that I have made. The bad choices that I have made are lessons. They are lessons that we all need to live on to be better in the good choices. But we can't be scared. We have to find the power within the choices that we have. We have to embrace the fact that we got choices at all. And we need to make those choices with confidence, with security, with a sense of understanding our worth and celebrating the decisions that we make. But also recognizing that you are all human, my darlings, and you are in a space where you are going to make mistakes, and those mistakes will make you better. They will make you clearer on what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want. I have to tell you, there are so many times that I made a bad decision that has brought me light, right? That I was unclear, but because I made a bad decision, I know I never want to go back there again. So by making a choice, by choosing, by picking a lane, it allows for you to not only understand what you are doing right and what you want, but it also allows for you to disregard what you no longer need, what you aren't craving for, right? When you aren't craving for. I teach at Temple, you guys know that. I see a couple people on here. Some of my students swing by. And I always tell my students, they argue about, or they want to complain about the internship that sucked or the opportunity that didn't go their way or in that space. And I said, okay, you took that internship and it was bad, but now you know you never want to work in that environment again. Before that, you would have graduated and applied for that job, thinking that that was your answer, thinking that that's where your heart needed to live, thinking that praying that you got the callback for the job that you already auditioned for and hated. You have clarity now based on choices that you have made. The choice belongs to you. People want to take the choices away, and in that they gain the power. You need to have the power. You have a choice of what you are going to do today and what you are going to do with your life. You may not always make the right decisions, and it might not always turn out in your favor, but the power lies in the fact that the choice is yours. I'm excited to come to you guys each and every day around 11 o'clock. You can find us on Facebook, on both of our Facebook pages, as well as our This Is It TV page, on LinkedIn, and also on YouTube. My goal through This Is It Network is to connect all of you to remarkable women and their inspiring stories. We do that through our growing community, our engaging content, and our real connections. My hope is for all of you to find your voice, to tell your story, to no longer whisper your wishes, but to scream your dream. More information on all that I do can be found at thisisittv.com, or you could follow, fan, and like us everywhere you find at This Is It TV. I'm Sheldon Barlett Rumor, and this is it. I will see you again on Monday. Take care.